Well, hello to anyone who's listening, which probably isn't really anyone right now.
Excellent now.
No, not yet. But
An hour
hopefully
now.
an hour now, yes. Hopefully soon. Um, my name is Maura Thomas, and this is Shawn Thomas, my husband, my business partner, and my partner in most things. We we are doing this podcast because um if you know anything about my work, um I I help people make better use of their attention and accomplish more of what's most important to them. And I have just begun, like many people, I think, this journey with AI and how it's changing our life in so many ways. And I am kind of lazy. I'm kind of lazy.
I wouldn't say that.
I think so. I think that I'm kind of lazy, and I am always looking for ways to do things that are faster and easier and take less time and less effort.
I would agree with that.
Yes, I am. And so to me, that's kind of what AI has been about. But the media is talking about how everybody's using AI now, and I
Aren't-
absolutely don't think that's true. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think that a lot of people are, or just in tiny little ways that maybe they don't even know, like suggested text and those kind of things.
When you Google, when you search now,
Yeah.
you get an AI response.
Yes. I think it's creeping into our lives, but as far as intentionally taking advantage of AI and actively going out and seeking tools and using tools, I I think it's still really new, or people are just beginning to scratch the surface. And so I'm really thinking about, there's all this doomsday about AI and, ethics of AI and how it's going to ruin things and how it's going to improve things, and the pain, there's going to be all this pain and, just all of this stuff. But really what I'm interested in is how are people going to incorporate it into their lives, because it's coming. I mean, it's coming and there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. So how are people going to incorporate AI in their lives in a way that is additive rather than detracting?
And as pain-free as possible. I mean, there's going to be pain. Anytime you have to learn something new, anytime I have to learn something new, there is pain. Definitely. Absolutely. That may not be true for everybody, but for me, it's difficult to learn these things.
It's so
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that I think about AI is that it's essentially, there are two ways to think about it. One, it's a supercomputer. And then two, there's this interface for a supercomputer. And so, we're learning this new technology, and we're also learning this new way of interacting with this new great technology.
like, where the interface, you mean?
Well, no, I think the interfaces are the chat GPTs of the world.
Oh, like the apps and
the
things.
apps.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The tools that give us access to that supercomputer.
Yes. Yes. And so it really reminds me of the early days of when I started the business, because you joined 10 years ago
Yeah, 10 years
now.
ago now. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, 10 years ago. But I started the business in 02,
Oh,
03. No, 03, you're right. And that was in the really early days. I came out of the world of paper-based planners when everybody had the leather bound, people still do, but like the leather bound with the zipper with 1 day, 1 page per day. And you ran your life in that. That's kind of what happened when I was in college and high school and in the early days of my career. So that was where I started my business. I mean, that was where I started my career. And then that technology started to change, and around 2000, and then certainly when I started my business in 03, in those early years. What are you gonna say?
Then you got a smartphone.
Well, not yet. Yes, but yes, I mean, there was like a Palm Pilot, and there was Blackberries, and I had, yes, I
The
had
Microsoft phone.
yes, I had a Windows
That's right.
phone, and it was horrendous. And you were still, I'm dating myself, but for those of you who are old enough to remember, it was like you still had to type you had to type the number one key 3 times to get a C.
Right.
Like ABC. Okay. Um, and it had the internet on it, but it was completely unusable because it was like dial up, like the early days of dial up. Now I'm really dating myself. We're super old, but everything took forever. But that was kind of the period in the early 2000s where I was like, all right, people are starting to, or maybe some people are starting to move away from paper. And I feel like if I'm going to help people with this, I kind of need to lead the way and figure it out
Yeah.
myself.
So, yeah. So we moved from analog to digital, and now we're moving to super digital.
Well, yes. But in that moving from analog to digital place, I mean, it took me years and it was trial and error and it was super frustrating and disrupting. And I was
Cool.
back to like sticky notes and I was super disorganized. And even though I had spent my whole professional career learning how to be more effective, this whole switch was super painful. But and then I was in a great position because then you bought me my first iPhone.
Mhm.
iPhone came out in 2007.
Mhm. Changed the world.
Totally. And then everything got easier and then everything got better. But I had already been using digital tools. And so I was able to help people. And so that's really, I've been thinking about that a lot. And what I did back then and kind of how it felt and how long it took and how frustrating it was, because I feel like that's where we are again.
Right. And so I want to be very specific because what you're talking about is helping people use these tools to enhance their productivity. So you're coming at this from the standpoint of your empowered productivity system that helps people achieve more with less stress.
I mean, I am, that's my expertise, but I guess my full like life philosophy
Mhm.
is to be, well, we call it empowered productivity. And you helped me come up with the word empowered, but it's a great word because I feel like that word really encapsulates my life. That word and the other word is control.
Mhm.
Um, because I feel like the more that I can um, understand what adds to my life,
Mhm.
what adds to the lives of people in my orbit, and
Besides me.
besides you, but you too, but also adds ideally to the world whenever possible in my little tiny corner of it. Um, that's 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 the intention I want to have, and that's how I want to live. And so thinking about what would add to my life? What would, and it's more than just what would make me happy, but what is additive to myself and the world and that kind of person that I want to be and what detracts from it. And so that isn't just about how do I get more stuff done or how do I be more efficient or how do I accomplish more, but I think I try to have this whole philosophy in like finances and health and personal growth. And um, you have this idea of the spokes of a wheel and all of the
Physical beings, mental beings, emotional. Yes. So we want to build our financial strength, our financial capability, our social capability, our mental capability, our physical capability. We want to be whole human beings.
right.
Be as capable as we can. Have integrity.
Yes, integrity in the sense of like a bike wheel has integrity when it has all the spokes.
Right. Structural integrity.
Structural integrity. Exactly right. And so yes, AI is about being more efficient and accomplishing more. And that's kind of what I've been thinking about, but not only for what is so far our work in helping people accomplish more of what's important to them, but in a broad sense of helping people accomplish more of what's important to them in all of those areas.
Should be a better version of themselves.
Yes, and be happier and more fulfilled, because I think that when we are happier and more fulfilled and more engaged, then we have, I mean, we need that first before we can make other people happy and I guess contribute to the world in a positive way. So
you want to talk about how AI enhances that?
well, what I want to learn is how AI can facilitate this.
Okay.
And so this long story to get to the point, which is this is the reason for the podcast. As I go on this journey, as we go on this journey of incorporating AI into our lives in a positive way, can we bring other people along on our journey who might not be leaning into it as much as we are, or as much as we're trying to?
As much as we. So I'm more of the kicking and screaming bent.
I don't know. I think you're using it more than the average person, although I have heard myself say many times over the last couple of weeks, did you try AI? Are you using AI for that? Did you ask ChatGPT? So maybe a little, but I would say I'm on the high end of tech savvy in that I'm not a programmer or a technical engineer in any stretch of the imagination, but I do tend to lean into new things. Early adopter even feels like a little bit of a stretch for me, at least up until now. Yeah. I guess I'm on the tail end of early adopter, I guess. Because I know people who have been playing with AI for a decade.
Sure.
That feel like I just discovered it yesterday,
Yes.
but not really yesterday, but recently. So, so now we are on this journey with AI, and hopefully with this podcast, we'll chronicle the journey, and maybe it will be helpful and speed other people on their own journey.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So, we're going to talk. The structure of the episodes is going to be chronicling the experiences we've had, both the successes and the fails. I think I haven't heard about a lot of yours yet, but I've had a lot of times so far where I've been, oh my gosh, that was amazing. That having Chat or Gemini or one of the tools that we're using just produce these amazing results beyond anything that I ever thought of. And then times where I've been like, seriously, you can't do that? What? Or I get a result and then I look at it and it's all lies, or it's all wrong, or it's all made up. And so
sounded good.
Yeah, it seemed like it was going to be good, but then it wasn't. And so it's going to be sort of explaining, because also we're getting caught up on the lingo, like all the different AI apps and tools. And then now people are talking about, at the time of this podcast, agentic AI, which is a whole another thing. And so when we talk about how to do something, we will tell you specifically the tool that we used, the commands that we gave it. We'll talk about how to get accounts if you need them. We'll try to be as specific as possible, because that's the other thing that's been frustrating me. Oh, AI can do this and AI can do that. It's like, how did you do that with AI? So we'll try to address that. So instruction, stories of successes, story of failures, cautionary tales. We will sometimes bring in people who know way more than we do. Ideally,
I'm concerned.
It should be easy where I'm concerned as well. But talking about like security and what do we have to think about and that kind of stuff. Or like, I tried this and I couldn't figure it out, so now I need to ask somebody else how to do it. So that's going to be the structure of the episodes. We expect them to be relatively short, 20 to 30 minutes. I help people manage their attention, and I know probably more than many about how short people's attention spans are, but the idea
Struggle is real.
It is. But hopefully they will be educational, they will be informative, they will maybe be a little entertaining, and above all, helpful. So we hope you will tune in. We hope you will tune in And that is a wrap on episode number 1.
Sounds great.
Thanks for joining us on AI for an Empowered Life. Be sure to like and subscribe if you would like to know more about attention management, Maura's groundbreaking approach to reclaiming your time, focusing your energy, and living a more empowered life. You can also visit www.maurathomas.com, where you'll find tools and resources to help you make every moment matter and achieve more of your most significant results.